Hi everyone, my name is Jevimi Malinkis and now I will going to discuss the earth science. So there are four subtopics of earth science which are the geological time scale, the hydrosphere, lithosphere, and atmosphere. Now first, we will tackle about the geological time scale. So measuring time, the geological time scale is a record of the life forms and geological events in Earth's history. Scientists developed the time scale by studying rock layers and fossils, rock layers, and worldwide. The cardioactive dating helped determine the absolute divisions in the time scale, giving time a name. The largest section are called aeons. Then the eons are divided into eras. The second largest section, which are the eras, are divided into periods. Then that periods divided into epochs. Then this is the kind of eras. Each aeon is broken up into eras. Major eras in Earth's history, the Archean 400 to 500 nya, then the Proterozoic, then the Paleozoic, and also the Mesozoic and the Cenozoic. Mya refers to million years ago. Then the periods, each era is divided into even more specific blocks of time called periods. Then various geological events are associated with each period. Then each period is again classified into different epochs. And how is time divided? So the major change in Earth's history mark the boundaries between sections. The most sections have been divided because a major organism helped to develop or went extinct in each section. Then the Archean era lasts from 2,500 million years ago to 4,600 million years ago. Earliest plants marine algae developed. The first life bacteria came into existence 3,800 million years ago. Then the oldest rocks was 3,500 million years ago were formed in this era. The Proterozoic era lasts from 540 million years ago to 2,500 million years ago. Then the marine invertebrates were probably common, few with shells. Glaciation took place in this era, probably worldwide. Then the Phanerozoic Aeon began from 540 million years ago, then it is still continuing today, divided into three eras. So the Phanerozoic Aeon was divided into three eras, which are the Paleozoic era, or it means past life. Then the Mesozoic era, which means the middle life. Then the Cenozoic era, which means the present life. Then the Paleozoic era began 570 million years ago and ended in 250 million years ago. Then it divided into six periods, which are the Permian, Carboniferous period, Devonian, Silurian, Ordovician, and Cambrian. For the first time on Earth era, organisms had part, then the which are the shells and also the exoskeletons. Evolution and development of periodohydrates, amphibians, reptiles, fishes, wing-bearing insects, trilobites, and etc. Then the Mesozoic era lasts from 250 million years ago to 65 million years ago, popularly known as time of reptiles. Then it divided into three periods, which are the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. Then dinosaurs, mammals, and gymnosperms appeared. The Cenozoic era from 65 million years ago to present days divided into two periods, Tertiary and Quaternary. Development of modern mammals, angiosperms, and human beings. And what is the importance of periods in the history of Earth? First, the Carboniferous period. It lasts from 360 million years ago to 300 million years. It is an important period of Paleozoic era. During this period, first reptile and periodic hydrates were formed and cool plants got spread. The dead bodies got buried in this period, forming the coals that we use today. And then the Permian, it lied between 300 million years ago to 250 million years. It is also an important period of Paleozoic era. Largest mass extinction happened in the period. Scientists are not sure what caused this mass extinction. Then maybe climate change and volcanoes. 90% of ocean life and 78% of land life died. Then the Jurassic. Jurassic is an important period of Mesozoic era. It lasts from 250 million years ago to 200 million years. During this period, first birds and mammals were formed. Gymnosperms were dominating plants. Then the dinosaurs were formed in Triassic period, reached at their peak in his period. Then the Cretaceous, it is a period of Mesozoic era which lasts from 150 million years ago to 65.5 million years ago. It marked the end of the Mesozoic era and the beginning of the Cenozoic era. All of the dinosaurs and half of the other animals and plants went extinct in this period. Then the scientists think the asteroid hit Earth. Then the dust, clouds, black and the sun. As a result, plants died. Then herbivores, then carnivores. The Quaternary period. It is a period of Cenozoic era which has been lasting from 1.8 million years ago to present days. In this period, the humans evolved as the most intelligent creature of Earth and took over. It is divided into two epochs, namely the Pleistocene and the Holocene. Now, let's proceed to the second subtopic, which is the lithosphere. So, first we will know what is lithosphere. The lithosphere, the name lithosphere comes from the word lithos, and the meaning it is the rocky, and spheros meaning sphere. This is the lithosphere. Now, the soil. Soil is derived from Latin word solum, meaning earthy material in which plants grow. The science which means thus the study of soil is called thus solum. The study of soil is helpful in agriculture, horticulture, forestry, irrigation, and the uses of fertilizers. Syndapedology is also useful in science like geology, petrology, mineralogy, and paleobotany. Paleozoology. Then the composition of soil. This is the composition of soil. The water 25%, then the mineral 45%, and the organic matter 5%, then the air is 25%. So the mineral is the biggest percent in the formation of soil. Then the whole process of soil formation is divided into stages. So which are the withering and soil development, or the pedogenesis. So withering process of soil forming rocks. Soil formation stirred by disintegration or withering of rocks, parent rocks, by some physical, chemical, and biological agents, because of which the soil is forming rocks are broken down in small particles, is called the regolith. And then, what is the regolith? Then the regolith are the basic materials which, under the influence of various other pedagogenic process, finally develop into mature soil. Then the physical weathering agents, then it mechanical effect on and such as the domanic weathering, then the deserts, high altitudes, high latitudes, and also the loose irrigation cover. So the agents of physical weathering are the temperature, water, ice, and wind. So temperature, heterogeneous structure due to differential expansion and contraction. Internal tension produce cracks in rocks. Rocks weather into finer particles. So in the water, which are the rainwater, the torrent water, then the wave action. Gravitation withering causes erosion, then the creep, slump, landslide, mudslides, and avalanches. This is the example of the slower, then the faster, then these are the examples of mass movement or called mass wasting. Then the chemical withering solution occurs when minerals in rock dissolve directly into water. Then the second is solution must commonly occurs in rocks and containing carbonates such as limestone, but may also affect rocks with large amount of halite or rock salt. So this is the example of the chemical withering solution. Then chemical withering hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is a chemical reaction between H plus and OH minus ions in water and the minerals in the rocks. H ions plus the water react with the minerals to produce weak acids. Then the reaction creates new compound which tend to be softer and weaker than the original parent of rock material. This is the picture. Then now let's proceed to the chemical withering decarbonation. Carbonation is a process by which carbon dioxide and rainwater or moisture in the surrounding environment chemically react to produce carbonic acid, a weak acid that reacts with carbonate minerals in the rock. Then the process simultaneously weakens the rock and removes the chemically withered material. So CO2 plus H2O, then the CO2 is water, air, then the H2O is water, then it is become into H2O, CO3, the carbonic acid, then the CaCO3 plus it is a limestone, then the H2CO3 is carbonic acid, then CaHCO3 2, this is calcium bicarbonate. Then biological withering. Biological withering is the disintegration or decay of rocks and minerals caused by chemical or physical agents. Then the organic activity from lichen and algae and rock disintegration by plant growth. Then burrowing and tunneling organisms secretion of acids. So this is the organism activity. Some animals may burrow or tunnel into rocks or cracks in rocks and cause the rock to break down and disintegrate. Small animals, worms, and other insects often contribute to this form of biological withering. Some organisms, such as snails, barnacles, or limpets, attach themselves to rocks and secrete acids that chemically dissolve the rock surface. This is an example of the snail. In the plant roots, the most common form of biological withering is when plant roots penetrate into cracks and crevices of rocks and cause the rock to split or break into smaller particles through mechanical withering. And then there are 5 principal factors are involved in affecting soil formation are: first, the parent material or local rock or transported rock debris, plant debris. The second is the climate, temperature. Then the third, topography. Then fourth, living matter. Then 5, time period or during the interactions take place. Then rocks can be divided into 3 broad groups, which are the igneous rock, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. So those 3 three broad groups of rocks are very familiar to us. So this is the rock type, then the original examples, then properties. Example, the igneous rock. Calling mama, the origin. Then the examples, granite and basalt. Then the properties, light color, coarse grain, or colored grain. The sedimentary rocks, deposition and compaction. Shale limestone, any color figure grain, light colored shell, or CaCO3. Then the metamorphic rocks, chains in igneous or sedimentary, the slate, then marble, or the any color hardened shale and any color changed limestone. Then the climate is important. Climatic factors in soil formation are the rainfall. Then temperature and evaporation. Rain provides water needed for the chemical process as well as the leaching of elements and soil erosion. So indirectly, the rain determines the type of vegetation, which in turn determines the amount of organic matter accumulation and hence the types of soil formed. For example, soils in the humid tropics formed under rain forests are different from soils formed under grassland vegetation which their climate. Similarly, the similar air different temperature will result in different vegetation and different microorganisms which give rise to different types of soils. Then generally, it is the intense climate of high rainfall and the temperature that develop acidic soils of the tropics that are low in nutrients, low in cation exchange capacity, low in organic matter content but highly acidic and high in exchangeable aluminum. Areas with low rainfall will have alkaline soils with high base as well as high organic matter content. Then the topography is an important factor which influences soil development through its effects in soil erosion and drainage. Then the erosion occurs during heavy rain on steppe land. Then the soil drainage is partly function of topography. Then the amount of soil water has great influence on the properties of the soil. So living matter organisms, microorganisms. What is microorganisms? So microorganisms are beneficial in that they break down later into simple organic elements or compounds that can be used as nutrients by high plants. The next is macroorganisms. What is macroorganisms? Macroorganisms can improve the soil structure by forming burrows and holes. Then lastly is man can play an important part in modifying the soils to cause erosion by cultivation, heal land and depleting nutrients by removing crops. So this is the time age. Soil changes with age. The length of time required for any soil be mature depends on the other soil forming factors, particularly topography and parent material. However, it is an exceedingly slow process. It may be noted that the mature soil is not necessarily more fertile than a young alluvial soil, and the length of time a soil has undergone development is not the only factor to its maturity. Sandy soil on a level landscape can reach maturity in decades due mainly to erosion of the soil material form. And now let's proceed to the third subtopic, which is the hydrosphere. Now we will know first what is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, the totality of water surrounding the earth, comprising all the bodies of water, ice, and water vapor in the atmosphere. Water held in oceans, rivers, lakes, glaciers, groundwater, soil, and air. So there are the components of hydrosphere, which are the oceans, glaciers, atmospheric water vapors, fresh water, and surface water or groundwater. Volume of hydrosphere 1,386 million kilometers. Then the total of surface area on Earth is 510 million kilometers. Then the ocean is 361 million kilometers, which are the 71%. Then the land 149 million kilometers, which are the 29%. Then northern hemisphere 61%, southern hemisphere 81%. As we all know that the oceans is the bigger kilometers rather than the land. Then now we will tackle about the origin of water or the theories. Degasification theory, water vapor or CO2 or CO, CHA, ammonia slapping 4, argon, hydrogen came to earth during lava degasification resulting into water. So the acid rains underlying water results to alkali earth. Collisions with comets for minus 40% of water. Now let's proceed to zones. First, epipelagic zone. The surface layer of the ocean is known as the epipelagic zone and extend from the surface to 200 meters to 656 feet. It is also known as the sunlight zone because this is where most of the visible light exists. With the light come heat. This heat is responsible for the wide range of temperatures that occur in this zone. The second zone is the mesopelagic zone. The mesopelagic zone below the epipelagic zone is the mesopelagic zone extending from 200 meters or 656 feet to 1000 meters or 3281 feet. The mesopelagic zone is sometimes referred to as the twilight zone or the midwater zone. The light that penetrates to this depth is extremely faint. It is in this zone that we began to see the twinkling light of bioluminescent creatures. A great diversity of strange and bizarre fishes can be found here. Then the third is bathypelagic zone. The bathypelagic zone is sometimes referred to as the midnight zone or the dark zone. This zone extends from 1,000 meters to 3,281 feet down to 4,000 meters and 13,124 feet. Here, the only visible light is that produced by the creatures themselves. The water pressure at this depth is immense, reaching 5,850 pounds per square inch. In spite of the pressure, a surprisingly large number of creatures can be found here. Sperm whales can dive down to this level in search of food. Most of the animals that live at these depths are black or red in color due to the lack of light. Now let's proceed to the abyssopelagic zone. So the abyssopelagic zone, it extends from 4,000 meters or 13,124 feet to 600 meters or 19,686 feet. The names come from Greek word meaning no bottom. The water temperature is near freezing and there is no light at all. Very few creatures can be found at these crossing depths. Most of these are invertebrates such as basket, stars, and tiny squids. 3/4 of the ocean floor lies within this zone. The deepest fish cover discovered was found in the Puerto Rico Trench of depth of 27,460 feet or 8,372 meters. Then what is groundwater? Groundwater is the water that drains through surface layers of the soil and rock until it reaches layer of the rock water material through which cannot pass or can pass only very slowly. So this results in the accumulation water in the rock layer above the is impermeable layer. Lake, swamp, soil, water. There are 145 large lakes across the globe with an area of 1,000 square kilometer. Then the categories of lakes. The dystrophic lakes, low food value or full of soil particles, water is usually brown. Then oligotrophic lakes, lake nourishment, very clear water. Then the eutrophic lakes, well nourished, intense bird life or lots of plankton. The fauna. In fauna, this is a viper fish. The first picture is the viper fish, then the second is vampire squid, then the snake eel, then the six-gill shark, In oceanic and sea animals, humpback whale, manatee, leopard seal, or the lanternfish, gulper eel, then the giant tube worm, giant squid, then the giant isopods, nautilus or the coelacanth, ice glacier. These are the animals that found in the ice glacier: microbes, polar bear, seal, storm, petrels, and Antarctic terns, snowflakes, reindeer. So Antarctica include penguins, squaws, Wilson's petrel, Falmaran, Cape pigeons, stoneflies, copepods, iceworms, and rotifers. So these are the examples of animals that can be found in Antarctica. Now let's proceed to animals that can be found in the freshwater. The frog, the gar, catfish, alligator, river dolphin, or turtle. So these are the animals that found in the fresh water. Painted turtle or the green hero catches dragonfly or the otter. In the atmospheric water, the Basileus stratosphericus, usually found 20 miles above the earth, is believed to have been brought to the surface by atmospheric cycling, which causes evaporated water rise into the stratosphere and they fall again. The threats, the pollution, overfishing, and the climate change. Now let's proceed to the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the blanket of air that surrounds the earth. Then this is the example of atmosphere. Then the biosphere are surrounded by the atmosphere, geosphere, and hydrosphere. So the composition of the earth: nitrogen 78%, then oxygen 21%, other gases 1%, then greenhouse gases carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane, etc. The layers of the atmosphere, which are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, or ionosphere. First, we will know what is stratosphere. The stratosphere is the second layer of the atmosphere up to about 50 km with horizontal air current. Temperature increase with altitude contains the ozone layer in the upper region where most jet planes travel through the contents of 20% of the air. Then the second is the mesosphere. Since the mesosphere is the third layer of the atmosphere up to about 800 kilometers. Then the temperature decreases with latitude. Then it is the coldest layer. Then the thermosphere or the ionosphere, the fourth layer of the earth about to 1000 kilometers, or it is the hottest layer due to ions H plus and He that directly absorb to the sun radiation. Then the temperature increases with altitude. Then where radio waves are reflected, what are the examples of the atmosphere? It provides the necessary gases for living things to survive. Second, regulates the heat from the sun to just the right temperature for life on Earth. Plays an important role in the water cycle. Then the ozone layer protects on the Earth from the sun's harmful UV rays, protects the Earth from soil meteors. So this is the end of my report. Thank you.